How we doing, guys? So we like to have a little fun here, and we like to have a mixed bag of treats and tricks for you guys. It's not Halloween, it's not Christmas either. We're at the end of the holiday season, but it is still holiday season. So Happy New Year's for people that celebrate. Speaking of bags of tricks, though, we're going to mix it up a bit on the people. We're going to get right into our lineup builders because I think those are the most fun. So what I want to do is give you our spread picks, and we'll give both of them right now, and then save more time for the lineups because you guys would agree the lineups probably are the most advantageous.
They're definitely the most intriguing conversation.
Right. So why have the tea in the crumpets when we can get to the main dish? That's kind of my point. So that's what I'm trying to do tonight. Donnie, why don't we start? We'll go youngest to oldest. We'll figure out who is older between me and Gov.
Right.
I definitely know you're the puppy of the group. So why don't you give us your spread picks?
Just to review last week, very quickly, we went with our lock of the week being the Chargers. That was a win, 6-6 for the lock of the week on the season. Want to see that get positive by the end of the year. I went 1-1 with the Lions pick and a Minnesota pick, putting me at 16-14. Gov sitting pretty at 19-9-2, as he went 2-0 once again. And Logan also went 1-1 and 14-16 on the season. All right.
Gov, I think I'm the middle child here. I'm 33.
You are the middle child.
I am.
I was about to say my birth year is 88.
Now, because we do like to have some fun, and we are going to get to the lineup build, but I do like to have a little fun. Do you think what if we were all in a family? Where would you want to be? I think the middle child gets a bad rap. Like everyone thinks the middle one gets spoiled. I think the middle one gets neglected the most. Like because
I was about to say you have that reversed. Everyone knows the middle child gets the shit end of the stick. I know I am the middle child.
Exactly. I agree. What's that, Danny? You agree or no?
Yeah, I agree. I'm the middle child.
Okay, yeah.
My situation's a little different.
Somebody said being the oldest is a good because you get to have all the brand new stuff and then the hand-me-down stuff. I'm forget all that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not into vanity. But speaking of vanity, there is something just so eye-popping on the board this week that I got to take on.
Our picks yet, Logan?
Yeah, we haven't done our group pick, have we?
No, we haven't done the group pick or our actual picks. We haven't just skipped right over our spread pick.
That's right. I guess I'm just so excited for the lineup builder that I was about. So Donnie, go ahead and give them your picks, man. And then I'll give mine, and then we'll go from there.
My pick this week, my number one pick will be the Patriots over the Dolphins. They are minus 2.5 right now.
Homer. Sorry.
It's fine to be a homer when I trust the Patriots to beat a backup quarterback.
Well, one of the reasons I wanted to give both of your picks right away, Donnie, is so we can if there is something glaring, we can get right to it. I don't like this because I don't know what the Dolphins are with Tua, and I don't know what they are without him. I think this is a team in flux. I want to stay away. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying they're good. I'm saying they're a soap opera right now, and they're trying to find their closed captioning. It could be a good show. I just can't understand the language they're speaking right now. It's like watching a Spanish soap opera. It could be great. I just don't know the language in which they're speaking, and I don't think they know. So that's my problem with the Dolphins and the Patriots game. I think both teams are confused. Because I think Zappy might be the best quarterback, but you have all the draft capital in Mac, and then you have a defensive coordinator on your offense. There's just a lot of weirdness going on, but you probably have the best head coach of NFL history, potentially, at least currently. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of confusion, I guess is the best way to put it.
Oh, I know part of this is because I'm a Patriots fan. I would
I was about to
generally
say
I
Belichick at home against a backup quarterback. I'm willing to trust that. So like I don't
Miami's
hate the
lost
pick.
4 straight.
And Teddy's nothing to like. He's not horrible, but like he is still the backup.
I get all that. Like, that's why I don't like that side of it either, Joe. But you would agree nobody else would hire Patricia as their offensive coordinator, right?
No.
So, like, isn't that just as baffling as trusting Bill Belichick against a young quarterback? Like, as much confidence did you have in Bill Belichick to, to.
I mean, yes. I have a lot of confidence in Belichick to do well against a backup quarterback. I have no idea what their offense is going to do. Yeah, it's the double-edged sword.
Exactly.
I trust the defense. I don't trust the offense. So what will the Patriots actually do?
The Patriots do have a couple big injuries in the secondary. Marcus Jones and Jack Jones both going to be out. So their Swiss Army knife and Marcus Jones is out, and somebody who's played very well at corner, Jack Jones.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I get that you want to stay close to home. Maybe the home cooking, Donnie. Speaking of home cooking, what other ingredients you got in the pot? What other games are you cooking up in that spread?
Well, originally I had a game that I liked, but then I saw this line, and I had to change it because I'm going with another team on the verge of making the playoffs. Jags at -3 against the Texans. I get it's a divisional game. I'm going 2 divisional games this week. I know that the Jags are so much better and they're fighting for so much right now. I cannot imagine that they don't absolutely steamroll this Texans team.
Good point. I see some comments in there already tonight, so we're going to get to your comments, man. Stick around. I'll get to your comments, I promise. But just want to get Gov's opinion really quickly as I proofread this comment, make sure it's not some kind of Russian bot for us. I'll get on this in just a minute. I know that. But, the bots are kind of good because it does get us some attention. So even if the bots want to come through it, it's fine. But, Gov, do you have any thoughts on Donnie's second pick?
Let's see. Like, I don't hate that pick, really. Like, I like the Jags this week myself to win that game. I do think Houston does keep it close. So, like, it was a pick 'em to open. I would have loved just taking the Jags on the pick 'em or Jags on the money line. But I think 3 is close enough. If it got bet up to -4, I would be iffy on the bet. But I think at -3, we're probably still okay. But Texans will most likely keep this game close because the Jaguars don't have much to play for this week. They can legitimately lose this week to the Texans and just beat Tennessee next week and they're in the playoffs. Yeah. So there's a chance they rest Lawrence, Kirk, ETN.
Which apparently is one of the reasons that Peterson got so angry with the Eagles and there was some discontentment there leading to his firing is the handling over Jalen Hurts in a very similar situation a couple of years ago on a primetime main slate kind of performance where the owner wanted the rest of the starters, he wanted to play them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think Trevor Lawrence might be the hottest quarterback going into the playoffs. And I don't know if you would want to rest him the whole game. So maybe you give him that preseason treatment. Speaking of treatment, burn notice. Our man Jeffrey Burns joined us tonight, and he thinks that Teddy Bridgewater could start for at least 18 teams in the league. Now, I think he's been smoking a little bit of that herb or something with Stephen A. Smith and trying to get on First Take or Hot Take or one of these type of shows. I think that's preposterous. I don't think you can name 5 teams right now off the top of your head that he'd start over. I mean, honestly.
Well, I mean, like right now, because I'd start him over Jarrett Stidham. If Mike White weren't playing, I'd start him on the Jets.
I would start Mike White over him.
I'd probably start him over Huntley on Baltimore, like there are teams I would start Teddy over. I don't think there's more than half the league.
I don't even know.
I think it's closer to the other side of that number. Like there's 32 teams in the league. I think it's closer to the 14 than the 18.
I think it's like 6 max.
I can definitely say like there's 6 or 7 he would not even be on, not even as the backup.
To be
Won't
honest,
even be necessary. I can think of that, but like yeah, that's a little bit.
yeah, I mean, I love the participation because trust me, these type of conversations will drive us in directions that could, lead to great conversations. Speaking of driving and flying, he likes the Falcons at 3.5 this week as well. Now
That's a solid bet.
I like that one.
Falcons have been good covering all year, and the Cardinals starting David Blau, who we've seen in Detroit. Yeah, it looks like that is confirmed. Yes.
Ew.
The guy, I have a lot of experience with this guy. This guy is Kellen Moore, just in a younger version, like really heady
and less talented.
I don't know about that because he's got talent. He's just got like probably the weakest noodle arm in the league, but extremely heady. Like not going to make very many process mistakes, but that's just going to lead to a slow total game in terms of fantasy. So the Falcons laying the points could be good because I could just see it could be like a Tennessee Titans kind of game where they would like win it 3-10 or something. Both teams just are really slow and not exciting. I'm going to cross that game off my list personally for the most part. There might be 1 or 2 plays from that game. But I want to mention, I don't even know if Skylar Thompson shouldn't be the starter over Teddy Bridgewater. And I'm not even being funny about that. I think Skylar Thompson.
It's close.
Well,
neither of them are Tua, so like that's what they need to make that offense move is a decent arm like Tua to get the ball to Tyreek and Waddle.
I mean, I'll give another example just so we don't bury my man Jeff here because we love the participation. I would start Sam Ellinger over Nick Foles for similar reasons. I think Teddy's had his chance. Defenses know how to prepare for a guy like Teddy over this like young, up and coming. I'm ready to like take the lead.
That's actually a good team. I would start Teddy on the Colts. Colts would be one of the teams I would think he's the best QB on that roster.
Interesting. I think I'd still start Sam over Teddy.
I think the talent for Teddy's still there. I just don't see the high upside since the injury. He hasn't done anything great since the injury, and sucks to say, but it's the truth.
So I'm gonna do some speed rounds on my picks because I just think they're pretty self-explanatory this week. I'm taking Denver at I want them at 13.5. It's just too many points. We see it all the time it's a fly trap. It's not good. It smells like shit. It is shit. The reason it's shit is because a coach got fired. They made a lot of bad decisions. But every time you see that fly trap and shit happens, the team comes out and plays for that coach, Gov is a perfect example of this. The Panthers were dead a couple weeks ago, and now Wilkes has got them playing well. Now, Wilkes was an extreme example because you could argue they should have never fired Kingsbury to begin with. But we could see something very similar to that. And I don't think it's a talent issue per se in Denver, at least an offensive one. And whenever you got offensive talent laying that many points, you got my attention. I mean, we've got the Texans a couple weeks ago, and I think the Denver Broncos are way more talented, top to bottom, offense and defense.
I will say to that, I think a lot of the Panthers situation is Darnold is by far the best quarterback that's played this season, and he was out for a big portion.
That honestly may be true. As much as I like PJ Walker, Darnold has probably played the best of all the quarterbacks we've had. Which sucks because I love how Baker decides to play well on a crap Rams team.
Oh, yeah, that Rams team's awful. I can't believe he's playing good.
Could it be a stylistic makes fights kind of scenario though? Like Baker has drawn comparisons to like Brett Favre in the way like he doesn't care, and McVay kind of has that like gunslinger. I want to fall in love with the gunslinger, the bad girl mentality. I mean, that's why he went after Stafford. So maybe being in a more freewheeling offense, and we're going to see flashes of bad Baker. I mean, just like terrible burn the house down, can't even use an easy bake oven type Baker Mayfield. But sometimes he might turn into Gordon Ramsay even for just 5 seconds. And I just think McVay's offense might lend itself more to that than say like a conservative run first approach of the Carolina Panthers. I'm not a fan of Baker, but I'm just saying.
I don't see how any team can realistically say, I'm signing Baker this offseason.
I agree with that.
Like, because where is he? Is he your starter? Is he going to be your bench, your guy who starts for a couple weeks till you get your rookie ready? I don't see how he fits in any role.
See, case in point, this is why I wanted to do both of our picks in a row after doing our group pick, because it leads to organic, real life football conversations without us being like, okay, now it's your turn to talk, show and tell style. And then we can get on to the lineup builder, which is like the main event. It's a fireworks show. It's going to lead us into a larger conversation. We could see something very similar with Russell Wilson. And even if we don't, I think that defense is good enough. I just think 13.5 points is too much for a Kansas City Chiefs team that, while they're good and while I wouldn't bet against them in the playoffs, they haven't proven to be a world beater. So they could be the best team in the league and still not be the world beater. This might just be the parity year where nobody is the front runner. And maybe that makes for the best playoffs, or maybe the best, at least, playoff slates. We'll have to find out in the coming weeks, depending on how DraftKings prices things out. I like that game. And then I like the Saints. I'm seeing the Saints at 4.5 against the Eagles.
I have them at 6.5. Started at 3, so like I could see they could be anywhere between there.
You can pick anywhere between 6 and 4, Logan.
I'll take them at 5. I'll split the difference and take them at 5 because I'm seeing 4.5.
Okay.
So I'll take them at 5. The reason why is they're in a playoff hunt. The Eagles are resting their starting quarterback most likely. Even if he plays, he's not going to play like a Jalen Hurts like performance.
Yeah.
And if you take away his legs and his scrambling ability, which they're going to do, and maybe they do it as a test run to see if he's still got the arm, you're still taking away a lot of his upside. And like I say, the Saints, even though it's an outside chance to make the playoffs, they still got something to fight for. So when in these last couple of weeks, when you're looking at incentives and motivations, I'll always take an underdog with talent and motivation. And I still think Kamara is a top 10 running back in the league. When you consider PPR value, like you do on a sports book of TK's value or their lineup builder. So that's why I go there. Go. What about your picks, buddy?
Yeah, let's quick fire these picks, get the comment, and then get to our lineup.
Okay. So first pick, Homer. I'm going to take the Panthers +4 to beat the Bucks. I think they can beat. I think they'll win outright because they need to win this for the division. So they'll at least try to keep it close. They did beat the Bucks 21-3 earlier in the season, but that was in Carolina. This one's in Tampa. So we'll see. Maybe Brady has a Brady game for the first time this year, but I don't think so. Any thoughts?
I'm on the Tampa side of it, but that's because I'm a Patriots fan and Brady believer.
Yeah, you's a son of a you.
I also picked the Panthers to lose last week, so I'm not super high on the Panthers. Anyway.
And just because Jeffrey said this, I won't take it as my second game. But I also do like that line. I think I would take the points on the Raiders.
Well,
No,
Why don't we do this, Donnie? He gave us 2 picks. Why don't we include Mr. Jeffrey this week in this?
But then I have a second pick. So like, yeah, if you want to include Jeffrey, he took the Atlanta -3.5, and
Let's put him on this week. Let's challenge him to come back next week and put his money where his mouth is, per se, and see how he stacks up against us next week. We'll track him.
all right, so we'll give him those 2, -3 on the Falcons, and then the Raiders plus the points, which I have currently at 9.5. So Raiders plus 9.5, Falcons -3.5.
Does Chandler Jones being out affect that?
Not sure.
See, I like the Raiders' talent. I hate their coaching staff. I honestly think McDaniels is the worst head coach in the league, and that includes Jeff Saturday, who was on ESPN like 3 weeks ago. Like, I'm serious when I say I think McDaniels should go down. He won't because of the Bill Belichick pedigree, but McDaniels, to me, is probably the biggest joke of a head coach in my lifetime. And it's not all his fault. It's the overrating nature of him, like as this entity. And I don't even think it was necessarily his fault. I just think it was like a fault of pedigree. It's like being grown up in a toxic environment and then surprised you're an alcoholic. It's not always your fault. And I know that's a grim example, but it's the first one that popped in my head. It's maybe he would be better if he did it his way, or like he got brought up in a way where he could learn different techniques. But I just feel like the Bill Belichick stank was on him so long that he couldn't get rid of it. And then he started wearing the perfume too much. Because the talent's there. And then the Derek Carr thing is just like an overthinking situation, which, let's be honest.
How much is Carr? Is that McDaniels, and how much is it the Raiders organization? Like the owner just finally giving in to getting up?
Maybe, but I put that on Josh because it just seems like a Bill Belichick move. I mean, Bill Belichick still employs Brian Hoyer. I mean, so he does like his good old boy approaches. He will keep guys around as weird motivators. I mean, Bill Belichick was the guy who decided he was going to try the 2-quarterback system in the NFL this season. Remember that? So, I don't know. When it comes to weird things like quarterbacks, like that seems like a weird Patriot move too.
I remember in Denver he did the same thing with Castle, I think it was.
He did. So
it's weird. It makes no sense. Derek Carr's so much more talented. I don't understand why you'd want to get rid of him at all. I don't get why you'd want to get
He's
rid
not
of
a good quarterback. That's why you want to get rid of him. I'll just come out straight and say it. I was telling people before the start of the year, he is going to be the reason Devontae Adams is not a top 5 wide receiver. And Devontae Adams has been playing so well. I was about to eat crow on it. But then the last 2 weeks, he has been shit to bed, followed by shit to bed worse. So it's like, Adams is a great receiver, but you can see how bad Derek Carr is, because even with as good as Adams has been, Carr has capped him so hard. You can tell.
You know what I hope, Gov? I hope Derek Carr becomes a Saint next year and then wins the division for the next 5 seasons, as you have to watch your Panthers be 7-9.
You mean, Johnny, they'll get a good quarterback and then they'll bench him for the whole season for no reason, and then they'll blame an injury that should have healed like 7 weeks ago.
Oh, the fact that Jameis hasn't started this year is disgusting.
Now,
he won't be on the Saints. It'll be the straight up flop. Sign and trade. Carr for Brady.
You might be right, but listen, talking about driving, Donnie could drive us over to our football Discord potentially, where we used to play Madden together, and he would see that in fact I did say that COVID year where they started, I think, Cam Newton, that they should have started Stidham, that I think Stidham had a lot of upside. And I still think he does.
I was on that train of starting Stidham as well, but that's just because I don't like Cam.
I honestly think Stidham is better than Mac Jones currently today.
Oh, come on, Logan.
Now, some of that's maturity because I do believe in some maturity things, and like that goes for Kyler, that goes for Zach Wilson. Like I need my quarterback to be heady, and so I have to factor that in. And Mac Jones might be one of the dirtiest players in the league from a mentality standpoint, but also from a talent standpoint, I don't see much difference between him and Stidham.
I don't like that the Patriots have a dirty quarterback who has a history of, he got arrested for drinking and driving in college. Like, it's all just, he doesn't have a great character, it seems.
Well, yeah, I'm not even talking about like character issues because I mean, like we could deep dive and then you can get into something you don't like about every player, from like maybe their favorite food to their favorite religion or who they date. But I'm talking about like character flaws that translate exactly to the field. I don't like Mac Jones' processor. Like he processes information badly.
Drinking and driving kind of goes with immaturity.
Right. That one works.
I mean,
right. I just don't like how people were like making fun of Kirk Cousins, for example, for drinking a certain type of beer. Like sometimes those character things are silly, and sometimes like they actually translate to NFL skill sets.
All right.
And I just don't like Matt Jones processor. I'm not a fan. Speaking of which, let's get on to processing the.
I was about to say, I've been sitting here while you guys ramble on about the fucking Patriots.
Hey.
And who's better, Jarrett Stidham or Mac Jones? They all suck. They all suck. Bailey Zappi sucks. Sam Darnold sucks. Every quarterback sucks that's not named Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. And maybe Patrick Mahomes.
We don't talk
and that's about it.
Zappi. All right.
Speaking of sucking, let's put us in a vacuum then. Give us your pick.
All right, number 2, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks at home against the New York Jets plus 2.5.
Oh, no. God.
I had that line flipped from minus 1.5 to plus 2.5, and I'm going to take Seattle at home
Mike
against
White,
the Jets. I like Mike White, but I'm still taking Seattle.
I don't like Mike White. I
love Mike White. So we're all in different spots.
Donnie, we love the underdog backup quarterback story. Like me and you, we read the same genre, man, but we never like the same authors. I swear. Like me and Donnie love whatever genre of book you want to read, but man, do we pick the opposite ends of the writers, man. I'll tell you what. I don't hate it. I think the Jets defense is too good that I don't know.
Oh, I'm going out on a limb here, but if I said I was on a heater and I trust myself, let's just say I'm on a heater and I trust myself.
Oh, you're on a heater, sir. You're Smokey the Bear at this point. We got to cool Gov off. Actually, we got to get you in this line. I'm going to give you first pick. You're on such a heater, and I want to get to this lineup. And
right, so are we going to do are we going to do a snake draft lineup like we've been doing? Or is this going to be more of a pillar lineup, or do we want to do like the negative pillar lineup you were talking about?
So we're going to build 2 lineups this week. What we're going to do is I entered this in a $3 the pylon, the big pylon, the single entry.
Okay, the big single entry pylon. Gotcha.
It's the first time I've played in this big of a single entry, so I wanted to do it. And since I wanted to do it, I'm like, might as well ring it in with my favorite people on New Year's. It just makes sense. Let's correlate. Let me do it with the people I love most. And then 2, we'll build another one, and we'll do a 20 max, and that will kind of give us a different it's still a smaller field in terms of like, you're not building for the millie, but you got to build a bit different. And then whatever lineup we like better is the lineup we should go with. So what I was going to do is let you guys decide between draft and then our pillar lineup. Which one you want to start with?
I think the draft is a good way to start, and then we can do our pillar. Because once we do our pillar lineup, we know what we're all thinking.
Yeah,
Beforehand.
the draft can just be a way of getting our quick hitters out. Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
Gov, I don't want to spoil it for the people or for you. If you're not comfortable telling people what kind of a heater you're on financially, that's fine.
It honestly doesn't matter. So let's just go to the lineup.
Right. No, but I want to say you've been winning a lot. And so, like, do you think you've done anything differently as you make, I'll give you the first pick. Like, if you've been winning, if you're a profitable player at this point, do you build lineups differently? Should you build lineups differently? And if you were another person, what would you advise them to do with this first pick?
I mean, the way we do this, you just need to be like, take your strongest pick early.
Yep.
Whatever you think it is. And so if you're giving me the first pick, I want TJ Hawkinson at tight end.
TJ Hawkinson, I got you.
Yep. I think he has, since he's come to that team, he's taken over a lot of the middle of the field routes. And Green Bay is one of those teams you can exploit over the middle of the field.
Yep. I don't mind this.
He gets a lot of targets. I mean, it's very different too, I believe, because you have a cheap tight end on the slate this week with in Denver.
Yep, with Dolce out, you got Tomlinson. Yeah, it's always possible. So like it kind of makes this lineup already a little different because we're not going to have a cheap tight end.
But there's a lot of value this week in a lot of positions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we were going to try to condense these shows in a way that was like fun, but also where we could just get on to the next pick while giving some actionable stuff. So I'll say quickly, TJ Hawkinson, good play because he's going to get volume. He has a chance to get over 100 yards and match Kelsey. But even if he doesn't, I don't see a way he fails. Like, I think Kelsey has more of a fail potential than Hawkinson does, even though Kelsey has a higher ceiling. So I like that you kind of middled in the middle there. You know it's a playoff game. You know it's important. TJ Hawkinson's a good pick. Donnie, go ahead.
All right. I got another playoff thing on the line. I want Amon-Ra. I want the best player on a team trying to make a playoff push.
Sun God, sound pick.
We've been off him for a while.
But he just still gets all the targets. Like, even when we've been off him, 10, 12, 9, 10, 13, like, whoo, gotta love them targets.
I'm taking the best value on the board. I don't want to even risk it at this point. Gibson's out. Robinson's going to see all the targets at 5,200.
Wentz is starting this week.
Who's that?
Wentz is starting this week.
Doesn't matter. Robinson's going to see 20-plus touches.
I know, but I think that helps his target
against Cleveland, who
No,
sucks.
Donnie's right. Wentz does
Against the run.
target the running back more than Taylor Heineke. Heineke likes, down the seams to McLaurin more.
Wentz always liked the Wentz when it hurts. I feel like Wentz will hit the tight end. Like Logan Thomas would have been another good cheap tight end play this week.
He might still be. We're going to build a second lineup here. Did you guys have a strong lean at quarterback? Where do you?
I did.
You guys want to go here? Let's talk about quarterback. Let's make that like our last big talking point of this lineup because I think we have a good idea where we're going with the rest of this.
All right. Well, this is our draft lineup, so we can just let it go to chance, and we can talk about it another time later.
We could.
Well, let's see. It's Logan. We're drafting. So Logan, you have another pick right now. You could take a quarterback. You could take another player.
I haven't taken a quarterback yet since we started doing this format. I think both of you.
That's true. You haven't been the one drafting a quarterback.
Oh no, I know what he's doing.
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I'll take the best value at quarterback on the board. This is why. Meaningful game, check. Dome game, check. And honestly, he should probably be a top 5 quarterback based on his fantasy production. Like, he should be up here. He is probably the best non-running quarterback in terms of consistency this season. And for some reason, he's just barely been over 6K pretty much all year. I don't even know if he's ever hit it. Like, he's flirted, but I mean, look at it. I mean, take the Lions thing out of it. I almost wish I didn't have to make this pick, but I mean, I don't. And the only bad games are outside games, and this is the last time the home fans are going to see the Lions, potentially Jared Goff. I think some of that stuff does matter. This might be the last time he ever plays in Detroit. And even if he's trying to say "fuck you" to the fans, he's still trying to send a message. I'm taking Jared. I like him this week.
I saw JR and thought for sure you were going to put Jarrett Stidham in there. I was cringing so much. Okay.
I mean, he's playing for his job because we do have the Rams pick, so we could take a quarterback early. I like all the motivation.
My next pick is going to be Kamara.
Why, John? Any thoughts?
Again, desperate team trying to make a playoff push. I like the best player on the team. I mean,
he is getting the work. He's getting the touches.
It's the same thing as Amon-Ra.
I especially like Kamara now that Landry is officially at NIR. I mean, you could argue he wasn't much of a fantasy asset in terms of himself, but like it just opens up that middle more for Kamara. Maybe we see Jameis at some point. Like maybe they just decide, hey, I don't know, but Kamara is definitely the most talented player on that team. You have any thoughts?
I'm not big on the running against Philly, but Kamara gets so much work everywhere else. So even if he were to be limited to 15 rushes instead of 18 or 20, I think those go straight to targets, which is just better for him. So
fair.
I don't hate that. All right, so my pick, and I get 2. Well. I'm going to soak up all of our value and let you guys finish this shit out.
Good.
So, first off, Logan, you're going to love me.
I know who you're going with, buddy. I already know. You're going to go with him, aren't you?
See, I thought you might say that because that is my favorite.
AJ Green?
3K, no. My favorite 3K wide receiver this week is Greg Dortch.
Yeah.
I have another pivot off of him I like too, which I'll mention here because I wasn't going to play him. But that's Jamal Agnew for Jacksonville. Because if Jacksonville were to decide to sit their starters, it would be a guy like Agnew who's already seen some run taking on a lot of the snaps. That being said, I'm a double stack Goff. 3,100, Jamison Williams.
I thought you were going to go with the other Williams. I thought for sure I thought you were going to go Greg George and then
3,400, I guess maybe. Yeah, 3,400. There we are.
That doesn't change it for you?
Nope. I'm still getting cheap. Still get a cheap receiver. It's not quite the 3K guys, but it correlates with our quarterback. So,
I mean, honestly, he's only got 2 less touchdowns than Mike Evans. And
shots fired.
And no, but I'm being somewhat serious. Like Mike Evans is everyone's waiting for these big explosion games, and he's racked up a ton of air yards. So has Williams and his limited usage. They said the reason they didn't want to play Williams last week against Carolina was they didn't want to hurt him, similar to how Robert Griffin III got hurt at Washington. They just didn't like the outside field. They thought they were basically saving him for this game right here because they knew playing this game meant more to them, going down the stretch for the playoff run, they felt. So this apparently is supposed to be the unlock game for the Lions. We're going to see all the trick plays, all the punter passes, all that kind of stuff. Like all the tricks are out apparently in this game. So we'll see.
All right. Then for my second pick, going to get some more value. Going to go to defense. We're going to do what I love to do and correlate with one of our running backs.
Mm-hmm. Chase.
And we're going to go with the Commanders defense.
We're going to chase it, eh?
Yep.
I'm good with this.
We could completely punt with the most minimum salary defense and play the Saints. But against Minshew, if against Minshew, I think it's viable. If Hurts is back playing, even limited, it's a no-go for me.
I started typing in Chase instead of Commanders. So that's why you guys saw that. But no, I like the Commanders here. Watson
That
has
defensive front's crazy. I mean,
No, yeah, and Ron Rivera is a solid defensive coach. Like
and Deshaun Watson's not looking great so far. So
and Carson Wentz is better than Heineke. He always has been.
And so I'll leave you guys with a good chunk of salary to pick a wide receiver in a flex.
yeah, and it's my pick.
It is your pick.
It is last pick, Donnie.
I can do anything here, Donnie. So you let me know your favorite play on the board, or even ugliest play. You just let me know what you want to do. Personal preference. Go ahead, buddy.
See, I'm leading running back here.
Okay.
I'm thinking I want to put in Saquon Barkley. If this game turns into what I think it could be, which is a blowout, that Saquon's going to get the workload unless they decide to rest him at the end.
Yep.
So
I like this play because he's in a range where people are going to forget about him. People will pay up for Christian McCaffrey. They'll say
Eckler.
Well, they'll say Eckler is hurt, right? So they'll skip Eckler, but then
Eckler's not even on the injury report.
But see, that's why I would play Eckler or Barkley there, because I think those are the two. And that's the only reason I want to mention it, is because I don't know if we'll get to him in the other lineup. But like,
I don't hate the Barkley against Indy bet. Like, I'm not against it.
Aaron Jones quickly is not on the injury report either. I know a lot of people like Dylan as the cheap option, but I think that's a trap because I still don't think he's right, but he's going to play. So you left me 4,600. I think I can do what I want. Let me just see. Can I afford the best player on the slate? Oh, not quite. I couldn't remember the price. Let's see what we got here. I was trying to play Wilson because
it's it for wide receiver.
Oh, that's right. So I could do a lot of things here.
I did see one player.
This guy might be the hottest player right now, and John Dotson.
But a quarterback change, does that change how we look at him? I don't know.
I think he saw more with Carson Wentz because I know Carson peppered him the first couple weeks.
I don't know. I just bringing it up.
Yeah,
Tony's 4,200.
he is. I don't know what to do here.
You're in an interesting spot.
It is. It is very interesting.
Oh, I know what I want to do here. Hunter Renfrow.
Interesting.
New quarterback, slot guy, Jared Stidham. I like this. It gives us some PMR.
Does anyone want to go back and change one of their picks?
I was just going to ask that. Now, we have 600 to play with. Do you think we should?
I'm fine with my picks. I like my guys.
I think we're set. I think it correlates. What is Cooper? Because maybe we could. I didn't look at any Browns at all this week, so I don't even know.
58.
5,800.
What about Peoples-Jones? Just curious.
No, these are good thoughts. See, we would just be short there. We couldn't do it.
How much is Peoples-Jones?
47.
47?
So you'd need 100. But if we were going to play a Cleveland guy, I probably wouldn't have the Washington defense. So we would just take that 100 off of the defense,
Yeah.
play Peoples-Jones, and then now you're looking at a 3K or less, which, I mean, that still leaves you Tampa versus the Cardinals. It still leaves you the Detroit defense. It still leaves you the Niners versus Stidham.
I'm going to veto that because I think it goes against the idea of the draft.
Yep. No, I think we're fine with what we got.
Yeah, I just want to.
I don't mind. I think leaving the 600 on the table gives us just a little bit of difference too.
Yeah. So, is there anything about this lineup that you don't like? As I hit submit and we go on to the next one.
I'm not a huge fan of Hunter Renfrow. Like
Yeah, I was
him
gonna
as
say
I like
Renfrow,
him as a
maybe.
player. I'm a Hunter Renfrow fan, but I don't like him this week with Jared Stidham being the guy. I don't like any Raiders outside of Adams and Jacobs.
I personally think New Orleans is going to start resting because I think they do think, like, I think they're going to realize pretty early that they're out of it. So I could see Kamara not getting as many touches, but that would be the only other play I'm not like understandingly thrilled about. It's like I get Barkley, good matchup. I like the Detroit double against that Chicago team. Robinson, clear smash spot. Renfrow is iffy and Kamara is iffy to me. Everything else is good.
So we can attack this in different ways, and I asked you guys if there was a way to cross things off or be negative about this slate in a kind of pillar or like grandiose way, like you want to make a statement, this is going to happen this week. It could be a player take, it could be a concept. For me, my pillar, and you guys can disagree and we can talk about it because I don't want to limit us too much. So this might limit us too much, but I think we agree. I want to play as much PMR as possible, and I want to play for the optionality, and I want to play only games with playoff implications.
Well, I already did that.
I was about to say that's like 3 pillars, okay, but yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just saying the idea. Like I want to play games that matter, and potentially late games. But that's kind of where I'm attacking it. What are you guys doing when you think about attacking this slate?
I'm thinking guys close to incentives and playoff teams.
Okay.
Or if there's a divisional matchup, somebody's trying to play spoiler. Those are the only things like really on my mind. I don't like the middle of the pack teams. If we're having like a 5-win team versus a 5-win team. Yeah.
So from a theory standpoint, Gov, is there any like strong takeaways you got this week? Like where you're like, I got to do this, or we should look at this. We haven't done this, you know.
Well, here's something I've thought that we haven't done that I've been doing a little more recently. Maybe it's been helping me. So like this would be my I don't even know if it's a negative pillar. Because like I know you two guys do not look at projections really at all.
Yeah.
I look at them, but then when we're doing the show, I'm just sort of going on my picks and stuff like that. I want us to trust the projections. So if we get to a point where it's like we have like 5,500 left and we're trying to decide who to put in, I just want to go to the best value play in that range from a projection standpoint. I think we're late enough in the season. We have enough data. Why don't we trust the projections a little bit?
Well, Gov, why don't I really put your feet to the fire here? And I think you'll agree. Why don't we just like do something totally uncomfortable for me, Donnie? Because you're right, I don't like the projections. Why don't we just take the position we fight over the most, and we let the projections choose it right away, and we let them choose a quarterback? And I'll let you choose the rules of your projection because it's your tool, you know, it's your utilization.
Okay.
So, however,
so if we're going to do that.
Yeah, explain to me how you're going to use that tool and then tell me what it spits out.
Okay, so I'm not using an optimizer right now. I am just base looking at the projections. So when I look at the projections, there's 2 different sets of projections I look at. There's the actual projection of their fantasy points, and then there's their projected ownership. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, God. All right. So if I were going to look at this, I would want to sort it by quarterbacks.
Which it is.
No, I'm looking at my stuff. Hold on. Okay, so the 2 big metrics when it comes to projection are like I said, when you go to the fantasy point side of the projection, You're looking at the actual total fantasy point, which is a median projection.
Yep.
And then you're looking at the value adjusted to their salary.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, it is basically just a straight ownership percentage. So I'll let you guys choose. Do we want to go with the top owned quarterback? Do we want to go with the top median projected quarterback? Or do we want to go with the top value quarterback?
I would say median.
I'm going to say median. Split the difference.
Okay. Highest median projected quarterback, Patrick Mahomes.
Really?
Yeah. 23.3 median projection.
Can I guess
Slightly ahead of Justin Fields.
Now, I'm not a robot guy, Garvey. You mentioned that. And Donnie probably doesn't even know anything about this. So it's good because we'll get both perspectives here.
It would have been a different quarterback, whatever you guys chose. So
yeah, I know. But I do understand the 10-man approach. I just don't usually use optimizers. I'm going to say it's because Patrick Mahomes has the highest ceiling of any quarterback on the slate almost every week. But he also has like the safest floor because that offense is so condensed and it's so pass happy.
agreed.
Right? Donnie, why are you shocked? Because I do think it's valuable to get that kind of shock value sticker kind of reaction.
I figured he would be closer to the highest, just in general.
Well, I mean, he is. He has the highest median projection.
He is.
If you compare everyone's median projection, which means he probably has the highest ceiling of all of them too.
Yeah.
Like it makes if you think about it that way, if like their projected fantasy points on the week, Patrick Mahomes has the highest projected, slightly ahead of Justin Fields. They are both ahead of Herbert and Goff and Daniel Jones and Rodgers, and I could keep naming all of them down.
So Fields is the highest on quarterback, right?
No.
Who's the highest on quarterback?
Jared Goff.
Wow.
So could I interest you, because if everyone's going to be playing golf, right, in the passing game for Detroit, can I interest you in playing one of the running backs and totally getting different with this lineup?
I'd be fine doing that. I love Swift this week. Jamal's also good.
That I would be fine with either one of them. So I'll let Donnie.
For Swift.
Okay, so because if everyone's playing Jared Goff and we go Swift, and then we have the safest quarterback in here with Mahomes, I just think that makes sense. We're fitting my pillar with the Detroit game mattering, Kansas City game.
Swift is slightly higher projected, too.
Can we stack Mahomes with McKinnon?
I would.
I
know
don't
you want to go Pacheco. I know you want to go Pacheco.
Pacheco's not going to be the target share. Like, Pacheco's the guy you play if you're not playing Mahomes.
No, there is somebody coming back from Denver, though. I wanted to check and see who that was. Maybe Gov knows, because I do know somebody came off of IR or was thought to have come off IR. I'm trying to find it. Is it the 1 o'clock game? They've been playing so many 4 o'clock games. I just assumed it was. It must be the 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, they're playing at 1.
I got it. I'm trying to figure out who came off of IR, who is flirting coming off of IR.
They just put Dulcich on IR. I don't know who you would be like.
Oh, Denver did he? Maybe it was Hardman they were flirting with taking him off, but I looked before the show and they had not taken him off the IR.
No.
So you guys want to play? You want to play
Denver Tony, one of the two. I'll let you guys go through.
I'm fine with McKinnon. Again, if we're at a 2v2, it's like, okay, so our choice is what? McKinnon or Tony?
Yep.
Okay, let me look real quick.
Okay.
Just going to go straight to
I
Kansas
feel like this is
City.
an interesting way to look at it.
Okay, so.
I'll pull it up on stream just so people have a visual too. This is Jared McKinnon's stat line.
Ooh.
I think McKinnon's safer. He's got a safer floor. Tony's got
Interesting. Interesting. What's the news on Tony?
He's talented but never put it together. Like I just think that's like the overarching headline story of his whole career.
Surprising then.
I mean, he only
Unless I'm just blind.
They've had a lot of design plays for him.
They have him lower projected than Justin Watson and Sky Moore.
They do. He hasn't seen very many targets. He did catch a touchdown, which saved his day. He basically did
They have him lower projected than Noah Gray.
Wow.
Like, you're not even and at his value, you wouldn't even be touching Tony.
Hardman was officially ruled out. I wanted to double check that because there was a rumor he was going to be activated. I thought maybe DraftKings said it wrong, but
yeah, I think it's clearly McKinnon if we're putting a guy in. I think it's clearly McKinnon.
Yeah.
And if this game turns into a blowout, there's still a chance McKinnon gets touches.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, everyone says, "Oh, McKinnon did it this many weeks in a row. He can't do it again." But we saw it with what's his name, Patterson last year, Gov.
Just burns people week after week.
Yeah,
Yep.
Cordell was like 4,500. Then he was 48. Then he was like 50. It's almost like the Amandre St. Brown this year. It's like no one wanted to play him. Everyone thought like eventually he's going to fail. He just never did, and just his price never changed. I still think he's at a price range where he can definitely pay off that value. Will he? I don't know, but I think he's at the price range where he's still more than fair.
And I just want to point out we're still following the playoff thing because the Chiefs still have something to go for.
And they've looked pretty rusty recently, like in terms of what we expected that offense to look like. And we have seen.
What is the news on Hopkins? I see he has a questionable tag.
I don't know, but he didn't look good with Trace McSorley out there. But David does like to target his contested catch guys.
That is true. He is more of a pocket passer thrower, so I expect the outside boundary receivers to see more work than.
Yeah. Yeah, where Trace McSorley was literally trying to get the ball as quick as possible for those screens, those kind of gadgety plays because
the quick outs, the slant, yeah, all the quick stuff.
Right. It does utilize his legs too because it kind of opens up that viability for him. So, is there anything else we should be looking at? Maybe not even player, just like you want to highlight this game, this idea, this game environment. Are we missing a playoff game that you want to make sure we get?
I have a team I want a piece of in Buffalo.
Well, that's the Monday night game.
Oh, well, there you go. Never mind.
Can I cross off a team? I don't want to touch the Dolphins and Patriots game. Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I mean,
I just think it's a low total game. No one knows what to expect. I just think it's gonna be ugly.
Let's see. Going by my thing, let's just jam in the highest value wide receiver.
Yep.
Which, according to my projections, is Garrett Wilson of the Jets. Sorting by value. It is actually a tie between him and one other player, but I'd rather play Garrett Wilson than Tutu Atwell.
Oh, I agree with that.
Although Tutu Atwell's 3,600, so there's cheap value.
Why can't we play both?
Just play the two highest value wide receivers on my projections and just put in Garrett Wilson and Tutu Atwell?
I don't see a problem with that. Logan, do you have any objections?
I'm always in favor of a speedy guy that's 3K. That's why I like Jameson Williams. I mean, obviously different body types, but same exact upside. You only need one play, one gadget.
Right.
It'd be like Tony, but like $2,000 cheaper. And if we're gonna play Tony, I mean,
now. Can I just go ahead and bounce back with a stud in Justin Jefferson?
I don't hate that. I love Jefferson in that matchup.
He went off last time against the Packers. I mean, now that doesn't leave us a bunch.
Watson is still questionable. Now, he did return to practice in a limited fashion.
All right, Gov, I have one last thing on projections that I really want to ask. What is the projection say defensively?
Okay, so let's go to defense.
Logan, if you want to go to defense as well.
So, what do you want to know? Highest projected point or highest value?
I like a defense with the highest ceiling.
Chiefs.
I'm going to say it's Chiefs or Jets.
Chiefs, Niners, Chargers. Top 3.
No. Let's do this because we already have a Chief, right? Can I interest you guys in the tiebreaker because they're already high, right, to Donnie's metric or to your robot, to Donnie's requirements? And I like this player. He's returning off injury. Joey Bosa is officially coming back.
I was going to say go with the cheapest defense of the top 3. But I'm fine
That
with
would have been the Niners against Stidham of San Fran.
I'm okay.
Stidham.
Yeah,
but I also don't hate the Chargers against Baker. I don't hate the Chargers against Baker.
Yeah, you know what? But we have 2-2, so I think that makes the change for me.
Yeah, the anti-correlation would be the reason we'd go with the Niners instead of the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as long as I get a Bosa at least.
Yep, we'll still have a Bosa. It's just not the returning Bosa.
It fits the narrative that we had for this lineup, and we're probably also playing the best defensive player this year, so I'm okay with that. Can I just save us all kinds of money, and then we get crazy with our last pick?
What tight end are you picking?
It correlates.
He's going Denver.
Tomlinson, okay.
No, the other one, the actual pass catcher.
Don't.
Eric.
Tomlinson.
Is it Tomlinson? No, he's a blocker though. I know he's there, Eric Tomlinson, but isn't he the blocker?
I mean, I don't know. He's like the only one left.
What's your projections there? I think it's Eric Schobert or something like that. The receiver.
Let's see. Saubert, Beck. Do we see the re-rise of Albert Okonye-Bunam with Dolce Chow?
Ooh.
I will check right now at tight end.
We could. Whatever.
Just look at Denver.
Whatever one they think is going to do well, I think we should play.
I agree.
Wow. Son of a bitch.
Whoa.
So, it's almost a dead even tie. 4.14 projection for Albert O.
He has proven to catch passes in the past, and
but 4.20, nice. Eric Saubert. So if we go by my thing, projections,
okay,
Saubert it is.
Yeah, let's do that and see if we even need it. I'm just saying it correlates.
No, it's good correlation on our Casey McKinnon. Now we have 6,200 for a flex. Okay,
which
that's
is where
workable.
we wanted to be.
That's workable money. Yeah.
This puts us in the exact situation we were talking about, where we have to decide on the last pick, and then there's projection.
All right, so we're looking at flex. So I got flex players.
You just play Robinson, right? The best play on the board. Either him or Walker.
Flex.
I'm just sorting by salary real quick.
Logan.
I got you. So I was enamored because I saw Debo Samuel was officially out, and I hadn't seen the news yet.
He's been out for a few weeks, yeah.
No, but I mean, like, they ruled him out because he was questionable.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him back till the playoffs.
I wasn't. Yeah, I
He
wasn't
was going to
either.
be out at least 3-4 weeks. We're just on like week
This
3.
is a weird spot for a flex.
Okay, so 6,200, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to play Robinson or Walker would be my lean without the robot, but we'll see.
Okay, again, I'll let you guys decide.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going straight up median fantasy point, value, or ownership?
Well, we're already kind of different with this lineup.
Yeah,
Why
let's
don't we
eat
go
the
ownership?
chalk. Let's take the best player they think.
What's the chalkiest player in the 6,200 range?
It's Walker, isn't it?
It is Miles Sanders at 5,900.
I like it.
I don't because they might rest starters, right?
No, I
doubt
think
it. I doubt
Philly didn't win last week. They still need to win
Yeah, they
to
still
clinch
need
the
to win.
1.
Okay, I'm good with it if you think he's gonna get his normal work.
Well, let me check. So, like for ownership, it would be that. Let me look at median projection. I'm at. Let's see. Looks like it's also Miles Sanders or Christian Watson is very close to him.
He's questionable with the hip injury. I think we've had 2 projections with Miles Sanders pretty high up at the top.
Yeah, Sanders
If I
was
go straight value,
questionable while we give Gov time to advance.
it looks like Miles Sanders is the play
I like it.
if he plays. No, it's Christian Watson with the hip. Yeah, I think Miles Sanders is the play.
I like it if you guys got the balls because I think it was last week we played him or the week prior, and he got us 2.6. So
I'll take it again.
I'm fine to double down.
yeah, if this is a perfect thought exercise on how you got to play this game week to week, then let's do it. We said we didn't want to go super long. I did keep it about an hour, so I'm pretty proud about that. We were shooting for 45 minutes, but I thought we built some pretty good lineups. Which one do you think is the best one? Because I want to put it in the $3 pile on.
This one has technically the best projections.
I mean, I would actually need to like go through and look at. Okay, so like the other one is a Goff double.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Let me glance at my projections real quick and see. Okay, so the other one is a Goff double, which means I need to look at. Yeah, St. Brown, very good high value. Let me look at Jameson Williams real quick.
Well, we have the top median quarterback. We have your 2 top receivers projection wise.
Remember, the other lineup has Goff, so it's got the highest owned quarterback and a double.
Oh,
Drew.
yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. I think your mic.
Whoop, did I cut out? Hold on,
Yeah,
my
you
bad.
did.
Yeah, so like the first lineup has the highest owned stack with a double. So like it could still be also pretty good too. I'm currently looking up like so our running backs in there one are Kamara and Ryan Robinson, correct? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so first off, I was at
that we still have a piece that's going to get targets from the top projected quarterback in Goff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Nobody's going to do the Williams thing. So, like, we're getting a piece of that game, but we're doing it in a way that nobody's going to do, which I love.
Well, in this lineup, we have the safer Swift option.
Which is why I also love Swift in this one. So, honestly, I don't care which one I think we built 2 really good lineups, but different philosophies. But I think we're going to be different with both of them.
Now, Brian Robinson is one of the highest value running. So actually, if I sort by straight value, 2 of the top 4 highest value running backs are Robinson and Sanders. So, like, both lineups have good value at running back. Swift is definitely higher. Like, so
since it's this close, why don't we just all say?
Okay, no. Which one has more PMR? Let's use that as the tiebreaker.
I'll use my tiebreaker. This one has
2 people. So we have the the Jets, Seattle. We have Rams, Chargers.
Yep. We have Jefferson.
And we have Minnesota Green Bay. So this has 3, and the defense. So this has 3 players in the defense in the afternoon. What does the other lineup have?
It has
It's going to have
Wilson, Jefferson, and then it has is the Rams Chargers 2-2 is in the afternoon, I believe.
Yeah, no. I know this one has 3 plus the defense. What does the other lineup have? It's Goff, Robinson,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Kamara.
Williams.
Let me save this so we
Save
can.
that, and then so yeah, Goff, Kamara, Robinson, St. Brown, Renfro is in the afternoon. Hawkinson is in the afternoon. So the other lineup only has 2 PMR. So I would say put the Mahomes lineup.
Yeah. And Mahomes has like the potential to blow up too. And for some reason, he just always goes underowned for his, because he's sneaky athletic too. I don't think people realize that. So, all right, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I really like these lineup builds. Was there any other quick little nugget things you guys? I think you wanted to do a quicker show, so I'm good leaving it here unless you guys had something else you wanted to speak on.
That's good for me.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good spot to leave it. Like, these look like good lineups.
Yeah.
Good way to head into the weekend. We have bowl weekend and then a nice Sunday slate.
Yes.
New year coming up for everyone.
Yeah, this is the last podcast of the year.
Last podcast of 2022. That is true.
It is, and we didn't want it to be a long one. We wanted it to be an efficient one, and hopefully, we always say it every week, so we'll say it again. But it's maybe more important because there'll be more traffic on the roads. There'll be just more people out celebrating. Be safe. Be kind. Do small things because small things do add up to big results. So take care, guys. Have a good one.
Not everyone.
Peace out, everyone. Have a great night. Have a happy new year. And stay healthy.
And thank you, Mr. Burns, for dropping in. We'll keep track of your picks for next week. Have a good night.